The Lord didn't pick you. You messed up. I'm joking a little bit. I don't know who really going to hell, but if I had to guess, I'd roll my dice on them Democrats. Not every Democrat, just because you're a Democrat. It's the evil one. In your heart, the little kid he hugged the Secret Service guy. He hugged him, and you won't even clap. Whew, insanity. What's the next good one, Nick? Should it be Chuck Schumer or Dr. Phil or Charlemagne? Oh, they all good. Nick just can't stop giving me better clips. He can't give me too many clips. They're all good. Let's go to Charlemagne. Y'all know I love talking about the black people. Let's go to Charlemagne, the fraud. Only reason I call him a fraud because I promise Charlemagne ain't like this in real life. If you sit down and have a drink with him, he probably a conservative. But he got to get on here and chuck and jive for the melanin. Roll the clip.
Only thing I kept thinking last night was I really don't know what Democrats do. Like, I mean, they clearly lost a long time ago back in November, but just as a party, it's like Republicans and Democrats aren't even playing the same game. They're not in the same league. Like, they aren't speaking the same language. And I don't know what Democrats can do to cut through. I mean, my other thought was a lot of them honestly shouldn't have shown up if they weren't going to be more disruptive. Like, salute to Congressman Al Green. OG got some nuts. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, the rest of them out there holding up signs like they had a silent auction. So I just don't know. I don't know what they do, because Trump can stand up there and, you know, say whatever he wants, tell a lot of lies, but nobody cares, because if you're a Democrat, you think Republicans are always lying. If you're a Republican, you think Democrats are always lying. So nobody is listening objectively. But at this point, Americans are just gonna have to let things play out. But when the inevitable fumble from Republicans come, I just don't know if Democrats have the team to recover. So the team that will always win will be the team that has a game plan, regardless of how terrible that team's policies may be for the American people. I guess, was it effective?
I just had to stop here. Now, behind this video, I stopped here. And I said, hold up, Charlemagne. Like, what the heck, man? What are you on? Like, it was a union address, I believe it was. Correct me if I'm wrong. I didn't know the union address came this early. The man just got back in office. But last time he did the union address, I think it was near the end of his presidency. I'm not sure. But this was a union address, right? Hold up. Let me see. Wasn't that a union effing make me want to cuss? What was that? What was that meeting that they had? Okay, it was the address to Congress. Okay, Union address 2025. Yeah. What date is the 2025 Union address? March 4. Alright. And okay, it was March 4. That was what they were, that's what you're talking about, right? What's the day? I gotta look at my calendar because I'm stuck in the house. Yeah, that was yesterday. Okay. It's a union address. It's not an open discussion. If you're sitting around the table and people are, you know, just talking, you can sit there and say, I disagree with that. But everybody got dressed up, and there were only Americans in that room that were legal Americans and that were working within the White House, around the White House, and these were all politicians. Whether they were political news people, or whether they were White House, or whether they were Congress, or whether they were the Electoral College, or whatever, Supreme Court, all the people were there. This was not a meeting to go back and forth. Okay? This was not a protest This was the Union frickin' address. I don't understand where they had a right, let alone I almost called him the N-word, let alone that lowlife, Mr. Black Trash, that stood up trying to show off for everybody, that wanted to sit there and address Trump to his face. Trump just backed up and smiled at the dude like, you do realize that we are at the Union address, right? I hope he went to prison. I hope the guy has to spend time in jail for that crap, because this is the Union address. If you want to sit down with President Trump, we already had great TV with him and Zelensky going at it with each other. Vance and Trump, Zelensky didn't like the way Vance corrected him, so he went after Vance, and Trump went after him. That's how that went down. Okay, because the vice president has a right to defend the president, and the vice president has a right to have his own way. Trump, it was Vance that caused the heat, that brought the heat, but he brought the heat softly until Zelensky said, hold up, where you get off saying, what was the word? I forget what the word was. There was a word there was a one word that Zelensky didn't like, and obviously he don't know how we use that word as Americans versus the way they use it in Ukraine. But anyway, this Union address, these Democrats came there with signs, and I don't know, maybe there's something in the Constitution, maybe there's something in White House procedures or something, Supreme Court procedures or something, I don't know, that says that they can do that. And this is the first time in centuries or years, many years that would be, that they did this. I don't know. But it to me, where do you get off using the Union address to take shots at the president? The Union address, look, I've been to the Pledge of Allegiance of the flag as a kid. And there were kids in the room that, and back then they were honest. If your kid was being taught by his parents to be racist, his parents just got busted. Because, he said, he didn't want to pledge allegiance to the flag because the kid standing next to him was black and he didn't felt that he was American. He actually told the teachers when he got in trouble, he actually told his teachers that, and their parents got in trouble for that. I don't know if they got arrested or whatever, but you know what I'm saying. Whatever the reason is, you stand up when you, now today, there was another video I saw earlier today, yesterday, it was a short where a dude felt that he should sit down while the rest of the college kids are pledging allegiance to the flag. And he decided, I'm going to sit down and do what I'm doing. The heck with y'all. And he was sitting in the back where couldn't nobody see him. And a black dude went up to him. No, it was a white dude. It was a white dude that kicked his chair out from up under him and said, you stand up and pledge allegiance to the flag like everybody else. You ain't nobody special. And the dude was like, and the dude got punked out. In a case like that, I'd say, you go ahead and punk people when they do stuff like that. Okay, you go ahead and punk people when they do stuff like that. In my opinion, you go ahead and punk people when they do crazy stuff like that. That was wrong. Okay, but this Union address, do we have a right to? Now don't get me wrong. President Trump, when he talks about himself, and he shouldn't say he did. He should say we did, because it's not just him. It's the people that he's elected to stand beside him. It's Vance. It's Rubio. it's Elon, it's who's the Speaker of the House, Johnson, okay, everybody that stood beside him. Matter of fact, the only reason why that guy left is because the Speaker of the House, which was Johnson, decided to put his foot down with security to remove that punk that was sitting there hating out loud and causing a disruption. And, you know, I'm watching these people. And the thing that kills me about black people is everything that they do out of skin when you got white people sitting right next to you protesting the same thing. You wouldn't be protesting if you didn't have white people to help you protest. You know what I mean? Kiss my behind. You know, like, you know, that's why I get sick and tired of black people. But, again, I don't see where they had the right to do that. We're you know, even though Trump, yeah, he was up there talking about, I did this and I did that and I did, and I'm promising you I'm going to do this, and you really can't promise. We could be in a major earthquake between now and the time you promise, okay? You don't know what's going to happen. I promise you, you know, and then what happens when your promise don't go through on time, okay? Last time he promised to save the economy, COVID hit. Okay? And so that kept him from doing everything. Everything from finishing with the wall all the way to fixing our economy. COVID hit. Okay? But this union address, I don't understand how these people get a right to stand there and protest like that, because it's not a protest. How do you get a right? No, look, if you don't agree with something, like I said, I've been places where I've had to listen to false preachers preach the word of God. And I didn't like say, well, amen, thank you, Lord, hallelujah, thank you, Jesus. I didn't do that. I was like, everybody's clapping. I'm like, clap real slow, like I didn't get what, that don't sound like scripture, but I'm being respectful. And there's times I stood and I didn't clap or nothing, I just stood. Okay? Out of respect, because I don't know if I agree with what you're saying. But I didn't want to be rude. You know what I'm saying? And you don't know how many meetings, you know, even being around, you know, a room full of black people and the guy up front saying some dumb junk. And I'm thinking that ain't got nothing to do with nothing you talking about. I still showed my respect by standing up when everybody else stood up, clapping, because when I walk out of there, I'm still a Republican. When I walk out of there, I'm still a Christian. When I walk out of there, I'm still a biblical Christian. Doesn't matter that he, you know, but I'm going to be respectful while I'm in your presence. Why? Because, you know, I mean, back in the day when my kids used to get in fights. And I'm thinking, your kid hit my kid. We should be the ones talking and telling you the story. But I told my kids, calm down, let her talk, let his mama talk. And I tell my ex-wife, I tell her, like, calm down, let her talk. Let her talk. Let her say what she got to say, and then we're going to remind her that it was your kid that attacked our kids. But right now, we're on her property. We're on her property. Trump is the man in office right now. You're on his property right now. Show your respect. So I had to go to this lady and explain to her that her kid hit my kid and it needs to stop. Okay. We're on your property. It's okay. I told my ex and my son, calm down. I know you're mad. Calm down. Let the woman say what she got to say. And then a little boy who's smaller than my stepson going to come outside and get in my face like he want to fight me. And I looked at him like, I didn't want to tell him, go back up there with your grandmama. Okay? Because your grandmama with her old self ain't going to come down here and defend you when I slam you on your head. But I didn't say that. But I'm just saying, I have respect. There's, you know, anything you go through, you're arguing with somebody or whatever, you got to have respect. They in there get mad because this loser got escorted off the property. I hope they arrested him. I hope he spent some jail time for that. 2, they're just sitting there like, And then I saw Nancy Pelosi. They took a good shot of Nancy Pelosi. She's so old. She's trying to keep slobber in her mouth. Okay? She's sitting there with this smile on her face, with this grin on her face, while everybody's, getting all mad at what Trump's saying. She knows she just following a skit. She just following the program. She knows she really don't care. Y'all already lost. She don't really care. But she's sitting there the slobber, trying to hold a slobber in her mouth. It's just bad, man. Like, and you know what? You ain't making nobody during Trump's reign want to vote Democrat. And what's his name is right. I'm gonna rewind it a little bit, let you hear what he said about Charlemagne, because why would Charlemagne, knowing that this is the Union address, get up there and say, well, I don't know where the Democrats were. Okay, they kicked that guy out. They should have let him, and why was they so quiet? It's the goddamn Union address. Where do you have any goddamn respect? This ain't a protest. Now I'm mad. So let me rewind this. Man. Everybody is there to listen to the new president. He is the new president. You're sitting there, the whole world is watching you. Act like a bunch of kids. You're sitting there like, especially in black schools, you see these kids come in there. Okay, and when the teacher walks in, it says, "Hello, students. Today I am Miss Smith. I am here to teach you blah blah blah." She starts writing her name on the board so you can understand it, and telling her what she plans to do this year in school, and blah blah blah. And we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and they just sitting here like. And first day of school, the teacher gets into her first fight with a student. It's probably a black student. She won't get in her first fight with a student. Okay, Mr. Jones, can you please sit up right in your chair, please? Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones. I am your new teacher for this year. If you have a problem, you can discuss that with your principal. But right now, my class is going to continue. I put my name up on the board. I put everything up there that you need to know. You have any questions, Mr. Jones? I don't want to hear you sitting there saying all these different things to me. I want to hear, do you have any questions? When you going to stop being a bee? Okay, Mr. Jones, you need to get out of my class, go see the principal. What? And next thing you know, they're going to beat up, a male student going to beat up on a female teacher, this is why, let me shut up. But, and you don't see that in the white community. You see that in the black community. Okay, but again, they made sure this brother was black. Wasn't nobody white gonna stand up there and act a fool and end up losing his job, his career over what he did. And I know Trump gonna go after the dude, and I hope he does, because it's the Union address. It's not for you to go in there and tell Donald Trump your feelings. You spent a year and more. Well, you spent 4 years, actually, telling this man your feelings and putting this man in and out of prison, taking shots at him, shooting at him, and everything else. And y'all can't. And he won. He probably won because, the people, the whistleblowers probably felt like, after all you put this man through, we're going to, let him win. You know what? The whistleblower is going to vote for Trump. Okay? Things gotten so bad, the whistleblower is going to vote for Trump. I can hear my watch beeping, but I can't find it. Good, you stopped. There it is over there. But this is horrible. And this does not make me see anything good coming out of the Democratic Party. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm hoping and praying. You know what I'm hoping and praying? I'm hoping and praying some black folks and white folks and a lot of people that are demo right now, they're going to look at that union address bullcrap, and they're going to say, you know what? Maybe I'm in the wrong party. This is, and I really believe, because they didn't do this to presidents in the past. And I'm going to tell you why, because we are now closer and closer to the last days. We are headed to the part of prophecy where the Antichrist comes in, the son of perdition. I mean, half the people in that room at the address were Antichrist. I'm talking about the Antichrist, the son of perdition, when he takes the throne. Whether he'll be in the White House or whether he'll be right next to the White House. Some people think Donald Trump is the son of perdition. I think you should reread your Bible, okay, and go to the bathroom, okay, make sure your colon is clean, and then come back, okay, and ask that question again, or make that statement again, okay, because there's no possible way, in my understanding of this man being president, back in 2020, and then him being president again in 2025, okay, ain't no way. This is the union address, and they're acting like children. I did a video about it. I sent it to Facebook. But this is crazy. This is crazy. And I tell you what, man, I wouldn't vote Democrat any more than I would become a non-Christian. To me, it's the same thing. If I was to vote Democrat, that would be because I hate America, number one, and I hate Jesus, number two. Let me say that again. If I was to ever vote Democrat, if I was to ever give up being a Republican and go for a Democrat, okay, become Democrat, it would be because, number one, I hate my country, and number two, because I hate Jesus Christ. Because this is the Democrats. I mean, what kind of spirit is that? What kind of person is it? What's inside of you that you can't let this man be president for 4 years? He didn't shoot your mama. He didn't rape your daughter. What? Everything he's doing is politics. He's doing what he's allowed to do within the limits of politics. He's doing what he's doing within the limits. The words that are coming out of his mouth are politics and social media. He's doing the same thing that Biden and Harris did to him, okay, and all this kind of stuff. He's doing the same thing that The View is doing to him. And, you don't have enough people. Like, for example, you got Brandon Tatum here speaking against everybody, but you don't have any big news channels and stuff like that to stand up for Trump, to go after certain people like they did Trump and just tear them apart and put them through hell to make sure they never ever become president again. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm going to rewind this, and I'm going to let him say again before Charlemagne comes on. Because Charlemagne, what he said was just, Charlemagne is acting a little uneducated right now. You do understand it's a union address. This is not a room where they're just sitting around drinking and eating donuts and talking about what's wrong, what's right. No, this is a union address. This is a formal ceremonial meeting. Okay? And they're acting like children. They're acting 100% opposite of the clothes that they're wearing. I mean, it just, y'all should have all came in there with your pants sagging off your butt and with holes in your jeans. Because that's the way you acted. I mean, you just can't.
An assassination attempt. You couldn't stand for his beautiful children and his wife. The girl that get bopped in the head with a volleyball that suffered brain damage. What happened to you bees that love women? You got pink on, and the woman, the little girl, you can't stand up for her. where they going. And just know if you see any one of these Democrats when you die, you didn't make it. He didn't pick you. The Lord didn't pick you. You messed up. I'm joking a little bit. I don't know who really going to hell, but if I had to guess, I'd roll my dice on them Democrats. Not every Democrat, just because you're a Democrat. It's the evil ones. In your heart, the little kid he hugged the Secret Service guy. He hugged him, and you won't even clap. Whew, insanity. What's the next good one, Nick? Should it be Chuck Schumer or Dr. Phil or Charlemagne? Oh, they all good. Nick just can't stop giving me better clips. He can't give me too many clips. They all good. Let's go to Charlemagne. Y'all know I love talking about the black people. Let's go to Charlemagne, the fraud. Only reason I call him a fraud because I promise Charlemagne ain't like this in real life. If you sit down and have a drink with him, he probably a conservative. But he got to get on here and chuck and jive for the melanin. Roll the clip.
The only thing I kept thinking last night was I really don't know what Democrats do. Like, I mean, they clearly lost a long time ago back in November, but just as a party, it's like Republicans and Democrats aren't even playing the same game. They're not in the same league. Like, they aren't speaking the same language. And I don't know what Democrats can do to cut through.
That's the dumbest thing you ever heard. He knows good and well that Democrats and Republicans ain't supposed to play the same game. Republicans are supposed to restore law and order. Democrats are supposed to see how many rights they can fit within a presidency. How much legislation that they can legislate. Okay? They want to legislate your grandmama's feces. Okay? And see if they can put that in the presidency. Okay? They want to legislate your dog and make laws and legislation for dogs. Okay, if you let your dog die, you go to jail. Okay, I mean, they're stupid. But he know better than that. He knows better than that.
I mean, my other thought was a lot of them honestly shouldn't have shown up if they weren't going to be more disruptive. Like, salute to Congressman Al Green. OG guy.
No, a lot of them shouldn't have shown up if they were going to be disruptive. Not if they weren't going to be more disruptive. I mean, you don't need a side here. It's the frickin' union address. It doesn't matter who's president. It matters that the fact that this is the president, whichever president it is approaching Congress. He's speaking to Congress. And they hate this man so much. And people around the world are seeing this. And then you wonder why they have no respect for America. Why they thought that they could just walk through the border and nobody would ever send them back across the border. My God.
You got some nuts. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, the rest of them out there holding up signs like they had a silent auction. So I just don't know. I don't know what they do, because Trump can stand up there and say whatever he wants, tell a lot of.
It's his address, you idiot. He's the president at the time. It's his address. He's allowed to say what he wants to say. Who else is going to get up there and say, you idiot? Who else? Nobody else got up there to speak except Donald Trump, because it's his address. When Biden was in office, who else spoke? Only Biden. You're an idiot. I can't even believe that. You know what? You should have went to them other clips that you was going to show Brandon, because this guy's talking like a goddamn idiot.
A lot of lies, but nobody cares, because if you're a Democrat, you think Republicans are always lying. If you're a Republican, you think Democrats are always lying. So nobody is listening objectively. But at this point, Americans are just going to have to let things play out. But when the inevitable fumble from Republicans come, I just don't know if Democrats have the team to recover. So the team that will always win will be the team that has a game plan, regardless of how terrible that team's policies may be for the American people.
I guess, was it effective? Like, everything that was done, was it effective?
Was Trump last night?
No, not Trump. The Democrats and everything that they did. The silent, not the silent auction, but holding up the signs and I wonder if it was effective.
No.
All right. Well,
he should have said,
if it was effective, you should go to jail for that crap. Because you ain't got no business doing that. It's the State of the Union address. We don't have no respect for in White House ceremonial meetings anymore. That cost a lot of money. Everybody's coming in and wearing $1,000 outfit and everything. Okay, got on their best makeup and their high heels and everything. Everybody's looking all good. You know, it's like going to that Grammys and Emmys. Okay, and you think that you're supposed to go in there. You know, we're going to do whatever we can to, you know, Will Smith will never live down the fact that he got up there and slapped Chris Rock, okay, in the middle of Chris Rock sitting there saying nasty things about his wife in front of everybody, okay, because Will didn't like the joke, okay. You know, Will Smith has lost all credibility for that. I mean, you give the guy an A for a good movie, you know what I'm saying? But he'll never, ever be looked up to, you know, in history for that, after that event, okay? For most people anyway, okay? But yet, you think that, you know, you shouldn't shame the Democrats for acting like fools, okay, at the union address. And this guy gonna say, was it effective? It ain't got no goddamn business being effective, because they're acting like children. Oh my God.
Heck no. Of course it wasn't effective. I don't even know what they did.
Thank you.
They had some signs up. And they stupid because the camera didn't pan to them all the time. So they just holding signs up for people in Congress to see them. I mean, when the TV panned to them, they were too busy sitting down and not celebrating all these heartwarming stories. I mean,
and J.D. Vance just kept laughing at him. He thought it was hilarious. And Johnson had that smile on his face like, are they seriously putting signs up? Like, he kept looking around Trump like, if y'all don't, oh my God, he was looking at them like, I'm about to send everybody, they got one of them little black signs, I'm about to send them all home. Like, that's the way he was looking at them.
I mean, when your daughter get murdered under a bridge and raped by 2 illegal aliens, and people don't stand to show you at least the respect for your daughter's losing her life, you can't tell me that people aren't turned off by that. The kid with the cancer, I don't know if Trump was just playing a game with them, but like, these are some of the most heartwarming stories that I've ever heard in my life. Thinking about Lake and Raleigh and her family, her 2 sisters are sitting there. And she got murdered, man. They tearing up they baby sister. God dang. Man, I don't care what you think about politics. God dang. Your baby girl. God. And they found her dead in a field. Some dude raped her. He was illegal in this case. She didn't be arrested. I don't know how many times.
Unbelievable.
Murdered your baby, the 12-year-old baby. I got a 14-year-old. And I got a 4-year-old. Yeah, I was tripping. I should have had them both at the same time. Now I'm starting over. Man, if something happened to my babies, I couldn't function. These are my babies. They're innocent little kids. Not only if like an accident happened, somebody raped and killed that 12-year-old little girl. That's insane. Every woman watching that got kids should be like, oh my God, and the Democrats won't even stand up. Think about this, what Trump did to them. This is what's so crazy about this. Is if you noticed, he touched on a lot of issues that happen to women. The mom and the 12-year-old, Lake and Raleigh and her daughter, I mean her mom and her sisters, I mean the young girl getting hit in the face with a volleyball. I mean, these were women. No men were involved in that. It was just women. And the party that wearing pink didn't even clap for the women that was involved in this. They wearing in solidarity of women but didn't support the women. Not even the little kids that got killed. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Let's go to Dr. Philly. Dr. Phil, roll the clip.
And if Kamala Harris had been elected president, she would have been my president. You honor the office of the president, not the person in it. And
that's what I'm talking about.
Those people sit there and cross their arms and stick their nose up like so.
Am I tripping? And them chairs huge. Dr. Phil ain't short and his legs is dangerous.
I know, them high chairs, boy.
Something smells bad, you know, what bothers me is how that looks to the rest of the world.
That's what I was saying.
You're in the Capitol, and the President of the United States is standing there. Respect the office of the President.
Respect the office.
And, you know, I requested several times to interview President Biden, and it was turned down. I requested several times to interview Kamala Harris. It was turned down. And people that know me know, and people in the Democratic Party know, I would never disrespect someone that sits in the office of the President. I would not cross-examine them in a disrespectful way. Would I ask hard questions? Yes, I would ask questions that were respectful but substantive. I think you respect the office. You don't have to agree with everything the person says or does. And I thought it was bad form tonight to go into that hall and not respect the office of the President. What do you think that's bad form?
So,
yes. So,
for example, Al Green in the beginning.
He's an a-hole.
It's like there was no point to that. Nobody could even hear what you're saying. It makes our side look bad. There's just no point.
Okay.
It's counterproductive.
All right, my man. You found that's the best thing you said all for the last 5 years.
So, for example, almost everything he did was red meat. Right? And I'm the greatest, I'm better than George Washington. And not only that, he'd go and point to the Democrats, and they won't stand up, and they won't do this, and they won't do that. But, you know, we've talked about things that bring us together. So earlier we talked about negotiating drug prices, right? That brings us all together, has a popularity around near 90%. Now, if he talked about that, then the Democrats, if they didn't stand up then, I would have said you lose your mind, right? But they would have stood up at that point.
I don't know.
The whole world is
They didn't stand
with
for a
Dr. Field.
6-year-old boy that had overcome cancer, but not much.
So,
13, he'd lived 6 years.
But Dr.
Instead
Field,
of 5.
Zink is an idiot,
so
man.
I hear you.
Zink, how do you pronounce his name?
He didn't reach out to the other
Yeah,
side.
well, then don't say he would have. They would have.
Right. So, but it's got to go both ways. They don't stand, but he doesn't reach out. And this is the impasse that we're in. So that's why both sides are always at loggerheads. Nobody's reaching out to the other side. So look, here's another one. The Taiwanese company that's coming to build semiconductors here, $100 billion, he takes all the credit for it. In reality, they got $6.6 billion in subsidies from Biden's CHIPS Act. They got a 25% tax credit from Biden's CHIPS Act. Now, here's the thing. If he says, hey, Biden did that, but, you know, I helped to bring them over right now by doing the tariffs, etc., okay, then you've united us a little bit. You give Biden a little bit of credit, you give yourself a little bit of credit, but with Trump, it's always me, right? And so that's why I see what you're saying. I really do.
No,
I gotta admit, with Cynthia, just a pinch. Just a pinch. I gotta agree with him. Like when Trump was talking about George Washington in that, we all laughed because he won. He's a Republican. We laughed. But to the opposing party, you know, that's like you know, when Joe Biden said, "Oh, you don't vote for me, you ain't black." You know, I mean, it's a little bit offensive for you to get up there when you got people there that don't want to be there in the first place, and you get there and saying, "I did this, I did that." No, them two guys behind you, Vance and Johnson, and the people to your left and right that are in the first balconies, where everybody can see them on camera, they did it too. It ain't just you, Trump. They did it too. Your wife, of course, he praised her highly at the beginning of his speech. But, I mean, all them people that are working the White House, that were working the White House, supporting his campaign in that, they are doing it. Elon Musk. He didn't say nothing about Elon. I don't think the whole address. Everybody is involved. Trump didn't do this by himself. He just got the right people on his angle. But he didn't do it by himself. Okay? He needs to get that out of his head. Quit saying you did it by yourself because you didn't do it by yourself. I agree with Zink there just a pinch. Okay? Even though I can't stand this guy. He's a loser. This guy Zink, how you pronounce his name? He's a loser. He really is. He's been a loser ever since I ever started. When I first started watching the Young Turks, you know, that was way back before, right around the time I became a Republican. And I was like, looking, I was like, yeah, it sounds some good stuff. And then I started hearing the truth side of the story. Okay? And I found out that this guy here, this player here, he just really, and I think he's thinking racially a lot of times because he's not a white man. He's like from the Middle East. Actually, he's a Middle Eastern. So and I work with other people that are Middle Eastern that when they get up there and talk politics, they're not really all out for America. They want to make America like, you listen to him talk about immigrants. He'll give immigrants the credit for everything. And forget about terrorism and all that stuff. Forget about 9/11. He'll give immigrants glory for every little thing. Everything. Like white people ain't got nothing to do with nothing in this country. It's just all immigrants. If you ever listen to him talk about immigrants, trust me, the guy is not really on our side. He's not really looking out for America. He's looking out for the melanin in his skin. I'm telling you. I've been watching him for like well over 5 years. And he's just, and I had to stop because he was making me want to punch my computer screen. He's so ignorant sometimes. Especially when it comes to Christians. And the way he talks about Christians we're putting our religion, we're pushing our religion and our rights on people, and we ain't even said nothing. We just show up. He even said his eyes was on mouth. All we gotta do is show up. Like, man, get out of here, man.
But I'm asking you to see what I'm saying too. That it's going both
Dr.
ways.
Phil, like,
No.
he said, I swear Dr. Phil is like America's brain on this thing. Because when Homeboy said it, I was like,
I didn't know that Dr. Phil was Republican. I thought he was Democrat. But I guess I was wrong.
no. Donald Trump did talk about cutting waste in the government they wouldn't stand. Donald Trump did mention how all the fraudulent stuff in Medicare that's going on that he's going to cut back to help the American people benefit in Medicare, they wouldn't stand. Donald Trump mentioned all this crazy stuff that we're spending around the world for no reason. I think transgender frogs was one of them. How to transition a frog or something they did, a rat. What the millions? And they were mocking him when he did it. He was talking about all those people that are over 150 years old that's on a IRS, tax thing. They walking out and stuff. He said at the very beginning, no matter what I say, they ain't gonna like it anyway. All right, we got a couple more clips and then we got to bounce. MSNBC poll or ABC poll, CBS poll.
I'm gonna stop there. You can watch this if you want to. Democrats in full panic after getting decimated by Trump's speech. This is the officer Brandon Tatum right here. This guy right here. My friend, my buddy. I've been watching his content for probably about 5 years. I learned so much, and he's he's the kind of black man that I look up to. He really is. There's some things on a spiritual, biblical level that I think that he needs to sit down and be taught. But to the most part, there's his name right there, the officer Brandon Tatum. You can go to his channel right there, right here to your left, Officer Brandon Tatum. You can go to his channel and you can see all kinds of stuff. If you're interested in Trump, he talks about Trump. He follows everything Trump. And as well as, what the Democrats are doing, AOC, Nancy Pelosi, The View, all that stuff. The stuff that they say, he shoots it down or lifts it up. I mean, he's doing his thing. So I'm going to let him continue to do what he does best. I'm going to pray for him. And we're going to take it from there, okay? Thank you for watching, y'all. God bless y'all.